Guardato l'umiltà della
World leaders arrived at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City on April 26th to pay their final respects to Pope Francis ahead of his funeral. Among the dignitaries were U.S. President Donald Trump and his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky, who a White House official said had a very productive discussion ahead of the service.
Benedicta tui mulieribus.
Trump and his wife, First Lady Melania, stood by the coffin of Pope Francis in St. Peter's Basilica as they arrived for the papal funeral. Zelensky also joined members of royalty, presidents, prime ministers, and a legion of faithful at the Vatican to pay their last respects to Pope Francis at a funeral mass to honor his sometimes turbulent papacy. Former U.S. President Joe Biden, a lifelong Catholic, was accompanied by his wife, Jill Biden, when he arrived at St. Peter's Square to pay his respects to Pope Francis at a funeral in Vatican City. French President Emmanuel Macron and Britain's Prince William, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni were also in attendance. Bells tolled as leaders from more than 150 countries took their places for the papal funeral. In one of several breaks from tradition as per his final testament, Francis will be the first pope to be buried outside the Vatican in more than a century, preferring Rome's Basilica of St. Mary Major, some 5.5 kilometers from St. Peter's, as his final resting place.
Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui. Mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Che ha guardato l'umiltà della sua serva. D'ora in poi tutte le generazioni mi chiameranno beata. Mistero glorioso. Maria è nostra madre e regina del cielo e della terra. Dal libro dell'Apocalisse. Un segno grandioso apparve nel cielo. Una donna vestita di sole con la luna sotto i suoi piedi e sul capo una corona di 12 stelle. Era incinta e gridava per le doglie e il travaglio del parto. Essa
Sed libera nos amaro.
Ave Maria, gratia minus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus,